All right, man. Peace. I had to include this segment. This was this was Wanda Durant, the Queen Mama, the new Queen Mama of professional sports, going head to head with Stephen A. Simp. As usual, the Queen Mama had to trump the loudmouth so-called black male, and she did it in style. And she actually did a good job. But I also want to cover this. I'm happy that they showed this portion of the post game of Game 5, because it shows, like I noted in the Golden State Parade video, that Kevin Durant, he has not stood up to his mother how he's supposed to stand up to his mother, not in a disrespectful way, but there's a time period when you become a man where a woman is not supposed to, your mom is not supposed to be grabbing you up like that. All right. You love your mom. You honor her. You respect her. But there's a certain way that your mom knows that she has to respect your manhood. And he has not shown her that she has to respect his manhood. And that's why she came in the post game and tried to make everything about her, because he has not, his mane has not grown out. He's still a young lion cub. He's not a full grown lion yet. And he hasn't done what he needs to do to have her respect that. But anyway, let's see what happens here.
He shares a moment with his mom. You hit me?
See, that was totally out of bounds. But that's normal. That's normal liberal black Queen Mama. That's normal liberal black Queen Mama nonsense. And you look at the Caucasian reporter. I can't remember her name right now. Look at her face. She's like, "Oh, look at Kevin," But that's what they like to see. Like I've stated, you will never see a Caucasian athlete have his mother treat him like that on national TV. You will not see it. Grabbing his shirt and all that. You can see even he's embarrassed and he's trying to pull away a little bit, but he cannot, because he doesn't have the courage or the wherewithal or the know-how to inform his mom that he's a man and that she shouldn't be grabbing him like that, particularly on national television. Look like she's about to cry, the Caucasian reporter.
Kevin, you talk about your mom and the influence she's had. We'll give you one final opportunity to maybe express some sentiments to her here.
That's been an enforced storyline. If you remember, after Game 1, this same reporter, she brought up how Kevin Durant started crying after the 2012 finals. And even he was like, "Come on, why are you bringing that up for?" And then she had to backtrack. But that shows you that when he stands up and is a man, he can controvert that little silly narrative that they're trying to push about the so-called black mother. They're always trying to push the black mother worship in this society on the so-called black man. Why is that? Because they know that they have the black woman in their pocket. All right? They know that the so-called black woman, as I've stated in the past, has three personalities: the racialist, the globalist, and the feminist. And they know that the so-called black woman knows where her bread is buttered in this liberal society. So they know as long as they can get the black man, so-called black man, to worship his mother, they'll have him under control.
We did it. I told you when I was 8 years old, we did it. Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this all show. Right here at Lake Chalet, Oakland, for First Take. The first lady of the evening, Kevin Durant's mother, Wanda Durant, joining us now. You hear those chants. And last night, clearly something special.
You're in trouble, Stephen A.
Before
You see what they're doing to Stephen A? They're only doing that to him because he's a so-called black male. They would never, ever tell a Caucasian reporter, "You're in trouble," because an older woman came on the set. Imagine an older woman coming on the set of Undisputed and Skip Bayless cowering because of certain statements that he made.
we go there, though, Wanda, congrats.
Look at Stephen A. punk ass.
Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
watching those moments between you and your son was so special. I was
Thank you.
teary-eyed
Thank you.
at home watching, so
Thank you.
congratulations. Much deserved.
Thank you.
But I
Leading
think,
the league in touching moments, by the way, every
right?
year.
I think you two have got a little bit to talk about. Because you know, your boy, my boy, he criticized your son's move, called the move the weakest. What do you want to say to him now? I'm going to back up here.
If I had a mic, I would drop it. It's over. My son said it last night. He said it.
Listen.
And she does a great job of standing up for her son. She just shouldn't be grabbing him up like that on TV. All right, that was out of bounds. But other than that, she does a phenomenal job.
Allow me to
But
speak.
just read my shirt.
It
That's
says
all.
NBA champion. It says NBA champion. You know,
Vindicated.
yeah, it says NBA champion. It says strength in numbers. It could be strength in mamas. I just want to.
That was a nice little dart that Stephen A. threw. In other words, he's saying that that Kevin Durant is a mama's boy. Right? He's basically Steve is alluding to what I've been saying. He's basically saying that KD got his mama to fight his battles for him.
Just want to say that. I just want to say that. Okay. Now.
And he's also alluding to a sentiment that I had in a previous video where I showed KD's mama, Draymond Green mama, and Steph Curry mama just going ham. All right, they definitely have a strength in mamas type of element with their team.
Now let me say this. First of all, we started off the show in obvious, appropriate fashion. Your son is a champion. He deserves props for that. You know. Now keep in mind, I did say he would be the MVP, and he showed up. Now, you got on me because I said that the move to go to Golden State was weak. But Mama Durant, I have to say this to you. I still sit up there and say, I don't back off that statement because of the reason I made the statement. He's so great. He's so great. Joining that team.
Look at the face she made. She rub her tongue on the top lip. Like, okay, nigga, let's go to war. I got something for you. I got something for your receding hairline having ass.
To me was almost unfair. And we've witnessed his greatness and how lopsided it made things. That's all.
How lopsided it made things. I don't agree with that. He's one player. So how did he make the league lopsided?
Because your son is phenomenal.
Well, he is phenomenal.
Yes.
You're correct in saying
Magic Johnson, phenomenal.
that. But I don't agree that he made the league one-sided. He didn't play in the East but a few games on the year. So how did he make the East lopsided?
Great point. Phenomenal point. Even Stephen A. had to relent to that.
So was the was the East lopsided when LeBron went to Miami?
Yeah, it was.
Or with Paul Pierce and then went to Boston? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Well,
That was a check. She almost about to checkmate your ass, Steve.
to be fair to Stephen A., as great as Paul Pierce was, your son is better. And then Paul Pierce did his best. And I'll say...
Paul Pierce is a Hall of Famer. KD is not just one level over Paul Pierce. He's like a level and a half, borderline 2 levels above him.
Paul Pierce is a great player. Kevin Durant is a different kind of realm, and it's hard to be that from Paul Pierce. But yes, when LeBron went to Miami, he did make it lopsided.
Okay.
And your son going to the Warriors, that did look pretty lopsided.
And they met in the middle.
She said, well, my son made it lopsided, LeBron made it lopsided, and they met, and my son won. She just checked Max's ass, too.
Let me say this in all seriousness, because I want to make sure that I'm clear. Being in this position, being somebody that speaks and we commentate and we talk about guys a lot of times. Let's talk about Kevin Durant in this respect. Always a model citizen, always class, always conducts himself right, always has been an elite player, and now he's a champion. So I just want to be clear, while Mama Durant is sitting across from me, my issue is
The head hyena.
competition. My issue is, oh my goodness, somebody tipping the scales. Under no circumstances is there anything, and I mean anything else, to say remotely negative about your son, not just as a basketball player, but as a person. And I just want to make sure you understood. That's exactly how I feel about him. I always have. I've always been consistent about that, and that will never change.
Look at Wanda Durant. Her face is like, don't try to butter me up now, nigga. You talking all that shit all season. I'm here to take scalps. I'm not here to shake hands.
Well, thank you. But
You see, she said thank you, but you see, she's focused on his ass. She's focused on getting Stephen A's ass. She's not here to play games with him.
I just think if Kevin has a certain talent and it shouldn't be watered down by anybody or where he plays. And if you think he's causing an unbalance in the league, then maybe
they gotta get it together.
The other players gotta
work on their game a little bit.
Step it up. There's levels.
They gotta step it up. They gotta step it up.
Right. Some of them may have to do that, but I don't think it's fair to minimize what Kevin offers Golden State and what they offered him to say that it was the weakest move in NBA history.
I think it may have been the smartest move in NBA history. I can't think of a player who fit in better with a team as far as acquisition than Kevin Durant does with Golden State. I've never understood, and I will never understand the amount of people, so-called fans, particularly so-called black fans, who came at Kevin Durant and LeBron James when LeBron James left Cleveland to go to Miami from just from a logistical perspective. It's your job as a person to try to make your life easier. It's not your job to struggle. It's not your job to give yourself added stress. If the avenues are there, then that's what you're supposed to do. What they're participating in is a business. It's not like your family and things are going rough in your relationship with your family and you just bail and go somewhere else. All right? That's not the same dynamic. But because fans have been trained by the mass media to associate the players with loyalty, but the management with business, how they view things is totally based from that perspective. All right. Now, when we're having discussions about who's the greatest, and a Michael Jordan was with one team, and he wasn't allowed to go to another team when things got a little dicey. Right? How he was able to persevere. Now that is going to be a major factor over a guy like a LeBron James, right? It just is. But also understand during that era, those teams, a lot of times their success was predicated on the greatness of the front office, right? Larry Bird was a recipient of a phenomenal front office, as was Magic Johnson, as was Isaiah Thomas. That's a major key in success. How big of a difference is Larry Bird from an Alex English or a Bernard King or somebody of that nature, apart from the coach and the front office? It is what it is.
I think you're wrong. You're too harsh. And the things that you said about my son, I really appreciate that, but I just think you were kind of harsh.
Okay. Well, listen. First of all, you have a right. Let me see.
I'm still the mama. I'm always. For you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
For you. See, no matter what.
You see how much everybody approved when he subjugated himself to her feelings. He didn't have to apologize for his statement. He just had to take the ass whooping that she was giving him because she was right. All right, she was right. His stance was way too harsh on Kevin Durant, and then he had the nerve to try to counterbalance it with revising LeBron James and what LeBron James did in going to Miami. And LeBron James jumped on that, and that's the reason why in the post-game presser for Game 5, he said, oh, well, I've never been on a super team. Why is he saying that? Because he knows he can hide behind the media trying to give him an excuse in comparison to Durant. Oh, our team wasn't ready made. Well, when you guys were crafting that team at the 2008 Olympics, when you guys first started when you guys first created that scheme, you already knew that you were going to have a super team. That's why you guys had the press conference talking about not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. So you already knew what it was.
But I'm always gonna be the mama, so I'ma always have love.
I appreciate that.
I always have love, so no harsh feelings. But I did want to kind of give you a spanking. But
You got your
no
moment.
harsh feelings.
In fairness, she just did. In fairness to you, so did my entire family. I was raised by 5 women. They all felt.
Oh boy, this guy always talks about how he's raised by 5 women, but his father was in the home. So why aren't you giving any credit to him? But it speaks volumes that he always talks about how he's been raised by 5 women. It explains a lot.
Felt I was entirely too harsh on him because they're like, how are you going to sit up there and talk about how great he is while at the same time being so harsh? And I said, I'm harsh because of the greatness. Because of the great. And they're like, no, it doesn't work that way.
And they are exactly right.
Right.
Okay.
Wanda,
Yes,
he seems very happy, obviously,
Yes,
here,
yes.
and loves the Bay Area. Do you think he'll finish his career here with the Warriors?
Well, I'm not sure he's going too far out. We just
You just got here?
No, let's celebrate the moment of being champions. But he is very happy, and that's why I was really satisfied with the decision that he made, because he did it for him. He did what he wanted.
That's right. And they're always trying to tell the so-called black male that he's not supposed to do what he wants to do. The main thing is, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, as long as you're not doing anything off-putting or immoral, depending on, but of course, morality can be subjective. Do what makes you happy. So many young black males, especially, their gifts, the gifts that they have, nobody assists them in finding out what those gifts are and perfecting them. So people are not used to the so-called black man having options. They're used to the so-called black man always having to be somewhere at a job and being locked into a job. They're not used to the black man having options and things that he wants to do to try to monetize the gifts that he have, whether it be an architect, a writer, an artist, things of that nature. That's why everybody's always perplexed and confounded when they see a so-called black male that engages in one of those type of endeavors. It's like, wow, you're a black man and you're an artist, or you're a writer, or things of that nature. Because our people are not taught to develop those type of qualities. All right. Our people have a job mindset, so everything is always about getting a job. But it is what it is. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a job. But there are a lot of gifted young men out here and young boys, and they should have their gifts refined.
Well,
That's where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing for all of us, outsiders, pundits, everybody, reporters, everything, to feel a certain way. As his mother, how did you feel? I'm not talking about right now. How did you feel the moment he told you he was going to Golden State?
The moment he told me that he was gone, we had a conversation prior to that, and I just wanted him. I said, all I want you to do before you tell me is do what you want to do, because you're going to be the only person that walks out your decision. We're going to be alongside you, but you have to do this. And are you ready? And so he said yes, and then he told me. I said, well, are you ready for this? He said, yeah, but I didn't think it was going to be like this. I just thought that because he left Oklahoma, there would be some pushback, but I didn't think it would be to this magnitude.
When we saw the problem.
Oh, well, I knew it was going to be bad. And I knew he was going to go to Golden State the middle of last season. Because contrary to the narrative that people are trying to push, that, well, they brought KD in because they needed him to beat LeBron. They were trying to get KD in the middle of last season. That's why I paid close attention in the Olympics to the interactions between Harrison Barnes and Draymond and Clay. And I didn't see much. But it didn't surprise me, because Harrison's kind of reserved and introverted, and of course so is Clay. And Draymond is in his own world. So it was kind of hard to pick up what the vibe was between those three guys after KD, got with the team.
Probably the most iconic moment between you and your son, until now maybe, was "you're the real MVP" thing that he said to you.
Yes.
And yet in this moment, it was you making sure he looked at you, and you made sure he understood the magnitude of the moment and what he accomplished.
Yes.
Which
Yeah, she went a little overboard with it. I get it, but She went a little overboard. The grabbing of the beard and the shirt, that was too much.
Moment to you, I don't want to make it a competition, meant more, but it seemed like this moment was even more significant to you. Can you take me through emotionally what they were both like?
Well, before, it was to let me know that he understood why I was the type of mother that I was, and that was during the MVP speech. Last night, I wanted him to get it for himself. Like, I was a man, and I made a decision that I felt was best for me, and I'm okay with that. And when you do what's best for you, the sky's the limit, and
Agreed.
that's what he experienced last night.
Did you feel that the monkey was off his back? Like the whole thing, the last thing people could say about KD, well, where's the ring? And now he's got the ring, and now what are people going to say? By the way, we'll think of something. Don't worry about it. I'm already working on it.
It's probably on this paper here, but it's okay.
Hold on, you reading my notes?
Well, I think it's just the beginning of his legacy. It's, been 10 years in the making, and so this is a part of the legacy that will continue.
It's interesting that you say that, because when I watched him play in these finals, finishing averaging 35 and 8 for crying out loud, my Lord, this is the thing that came to my mind. Getting the championship, once you have it, sky's the limit. Because as LeBron and everybody else says, now they have to call you a champion. Mm-hmm. So the scary part of this dude is that now he's going to be playing with house money to some degree.
That's the point. That's why I want to see what the dynamic of the team is going to be next year. All right? They could be better. They could be worse. It depends on who comes out saying, okay, now it's my turn. But I don't see that. I don't foresee that, because fortunately for them, Steph Curry and Klay are both such easygoing guys. And Steph has had his opportunity already. He's had his Kobe Bryant years where he's gotten to be the lead guy and put up big numbers.
Because he's a champion. Mm-hmm. Do you see even better times than what we've already seen from him ahead?
Of course. I personally, I've seen Kevin play since he was 7. I have never seen him play with this much freedom. Like I did this series. That was the first thing. But with that being said, I still think he's turning his corner. And if he turned it, he's just at the beginning of that. So he has a little ways to go. He has to continue to work hard, but I think he can show us a lot more.
Well, right now it's time to celebrate 2 MVPs in the family. Give it up for Wanda Durant,
yes.
Kevin Durant, champions. I see the Larry O'Brien over there. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
My friend.
And joining us next from Lake Chalet in Oakland, the main man behind the Ultimate Rule.
She said, my friend, but no, she wanted to tear that ass up. She wanted to get Steve, and she did her thing. But anyway, peace.